A first here in federal court on Friday. 3 people sentenced to prison for selling fentanyl, leading to a local man's death. Throughout court documents, the victim was referenced only by his initials, JG. Well, tonight I introduce you to the parents of that victim, Jason Grubb. They are sharing their son's story with the hope it educates local families about the danger of fentanyl.
They admittedly did not know what they were doing, how they were mixing this fentanyl.
And did it anyway.
They
Gave it to him anyway.
It's believed Jason Grubb died within minutes of taking a pill laced with fentanyl he got from his friend Courtney Renee Cox. With his 3-year-old son in the car, he passed out, wrecked his truck, and was already dead when paramedics arrived.
They huddled up and they got us over there and they said, "We're sorry to tell you, but your son was already gone when we got here. We worked on him, but he was already gone." You remember that?
Yeah.
According to the DEA, fentanyl is now the #1 killer of Americans between the ages of 18 and 45. The overdose death rate in 2022 was 33 for every 100,000 people.
I just hope that people realize what the dangers are out there, regardless of where their kids go. I'd talk about this any place that I could.
Charles and Maureen Grubb were in the courtroom for the sentencing last week, along with Jason's son Porter. 3 people were sentenced. Courtney Renee Cox and Rachel Hassel were given 10 years. Martin Thompson, whom the Grubbs say showed no remorse in court, got 20 years.
It doesn't bring Jason any closer to being back with us, but Friday was closure on a process that's been painful to us.
Also painful is watching their grandson Porter go on without his dad. When Jason wasn't working in the oil fields, he was with his son, his best pal. There are countless pictures of the two of them at the zoo, fishing, and playing with Legos.
Last night, Porter went over and picked up this book of pictures of him and just brought it on the sofa, and it just broke your heart to see the look on his face 3 or 4 times. He just, he thinks about his daddy all the time, even though he's been gone 3 years. You can be outside with him at night, and he looks at the stars and says, "My daddy's up there, and one day I'm going to be there with him," and that kind of deal. It just breaks your heart.
For KTBS 3 News, I'm Johnette Magner. Now, if Charles Grubb looks familiar, it may be because he was the city attorney during the John Hussey administration. Jason Grubb was Charles and Maureen's only son.
And it's so sad to hear that story because there are so many other families just like them who are struggling to deal with the loss of a loved one because of this.
Yes, and I have to say it takes a lot of courage to come forward and talk about it. And I've known the Grubbs for many years, and it was a privilege to get to tell their story.
Do you feel it was therapeutic for them? Because there's no loss, for any parent to lose a child. It is the worst feeling. Did you find it was therapeutic for them to just kind of talk about him, share his memory with people?
I hope it was.
Yeah.
I hope it was.
Yeah. Great job, Johnette.